This is Jim Emter, Van Ahn Company, Alexandria, Minnesota, with your closing grain and livestock comments for August 31st, 2021. Corn market down 6 1/4 to 8 1/2. Beans down 6 to 10 3/4. Chicago wheat mix, Minneapolis down 16 1/4 to 6 1/4, and Kansas City mixed up 1. So choppy, weaker day. Market came back here on the close off the lows once again, but we'll see what tomorrow makes of it. We continue to be in this liquidation phase, but we're very quickly getting into these key price counts we've been talking about as a downside objective, or where we believe support should set in. Those areas are 490 to 520 off the corn market, soybeans in that 1245 to 1279, 1280 market, and we were just cents away from those areas and have reversed off them here for a one-day session close. We'll see what we can do tomorrow, but still a weaker close, still doing damage to the charts, still a negative bias, but we just get attentive when we come off the lows like that, and we'll be aware of that as we work through the days ahead here. Seasonally, as we work to September, really to October 1st, it's usually a weaker trend, and that's what we see seasonally even in bull trending years, and with the lack of news around and good rain conditions and weather around, that keeps a little bit of a negative bias. But at the end of the day, demand South America and actual finished yield criteria will really be the direction setter for these markets. Feeder cattle down 105, lives down 142 1/2, hogs down 135. Much like the grains, this is a weaker time for the cattle particularly. This is an area that we set back, but cutouts, maybe they do weaken here, but cash has remained relatively strong, and that's under the circumstances probably given some optimism here to cattle producers that this market shouldn't go too far, and we kind of buy into that philosophy to a degree. Now, we have upticked our marketing to manage the risk there in cattle here, midway through this break, but equally important is I don't think this is just a runaway down market. There are circumstances around cattle that give us optimism long term, a lot like grains. We might see a lower grain market, but transition in here to a more bullish approach after October 1st. So the reason we bring that up in the cattle section is end users be attentive to those lower price counts and make sure you're covered coming into harvest here, because coming out of harvest, it may be very difficult to source that grain product, at least for the first part of winter. Strap in for a wild ride in the hog market. Longer term expectations are that China should see some reduction in production, and that could bring some additional exports, but we need to see them, and that's the problem right now. This has been Jim Emter, Van Ahn Company, Alexandria, Minnesota. Trading in futures and options involves risk of loss and is not suitable for all producers. Past performance is not indicative of future results. This is a solicitation. Have a great afternoon.